is up, Oaks? Welcome back to the Fight Scene YouTube channel. Today, another fun video. I'm going to be talking about my favorite and least favorite UFC commentators. This is obviously a pretty discussed topic within the MMA community or within the UFC community. Oaks have some very differing opinions on who they like and who they don't like. So yeah, I don't know. I thought with there being a bye week this week on UFC, I might as well try and do some other videos. So yeah, let's get into it, Oaks. First of all, I will say that I have big respects for all the legends of the game, but I don't know, at some point there was a turning point for some commentators, but we'll talk about it. Okay, starting off with my favorite commentators, we'll jump in with Paul Felder first of all. I think this Oak he's a legend. He's such a lekker Oak. He's got nice commentating. He knows the game, obviously. He was a great fighter. And every time he's on the broadcast team, I'm pretty stoked. Yeah, it's just nice to listen to him commentate. Like, he's not biased. He's very neutral. Like, gives both Oaks their props. And yeah, he's just a lekker Oak. Big fan of Paul Felder. So yeah, I like when he hops on the mic. Next, of course, one of the biggest legends of the game, and that is Jon Anik. Wow, Jon is the best. This Oak is obviously such a legend. Everyone knows his iconic voice. And he has great introductions. I don't know if you guys follow him on Instagram, but he sometimes uploads what his introduction's gonna be for like the fight card. And yeah, he's just also such a lekker. Obviously he's kind of learned a lot more about the UFC commentating over the last few years and stuff. But in general, just the way he speaks and how he hypes up the moment and his reactions and stuff are just top tier always, and he always brings such a sick level of hype to the fights. So he's obviously just one of the GOATs, and will forever love my boy Jon Anik. Then moving on, Daniel DC Cormier, another obviously legend of the game, as well, knows his fighting very well. Obviously, he's very good when it comes to the wrestling. He commentates that really well, and he gives great insight, so that's pretty cool. One criticism is DC can be a little bit biased sometimes, especially towards fighters he does like. But in general, I do like hearing DC on the mic, and I enjoy him in the booth. So yeah, that's probably my top three. I would say would be Felder, Anik, and DC. Those Oaks are lekker. Then honorable mentions. Obviously, look, there's a lot of them I like. Laura Sanko is really good. John Gooden is good. Brendan Fitzgerald's good. But they're not amazing, you know? But then, so Bisping, this guy, I used to hate Bisping. Not hate him, but I didn't like when Bisping was on the commentary booth because he just talks a whole bunch of shit. He just chats rubbish. But recently, the more he's been in the commentary, on the mic, he's actually been quite funny. He says some outrageous things, and that is quite cool. When him and Felder are together, because they have a podcast together, when him and Felder are together in the commentary booth, oh my goodness, it is funny, because they both just they're so used to chatting rubbish together, so they say some outrageous things, so it is quite funny. So Bisping, I didn't like him that much, but I've grown to like him a lot more. Now let's move into the commentators I don't really like. Starting off first, this is a big one. Joe Rogan, Oaks. I used to be a big fan of Joe Rogan. Always loved him on the mic. Obviously had such good reactions, good hype and stuff. And I do still like him, but it is facts that what the media and Oaks say, that he has just lost interest in the UFC kind of. I think the more and more his podcast is taken off, he's focused on that a lot more. So he obviously only does the US cards now and stuff like that. He's done that for a while. But he also just seems to be very biased. I've noticed, especially at UFC 317 with the prelim cards and stuff like that. He's so biased when he commentates. He kind of just picks a fighter and he just glazes them for the whole time. And he has gotten pretty repetitive. So I don't know. I think he just prefers his podcast and stuff like that, and he doesn't watch MMA as deeply as I think he may be used to and stuff like that. But don't get me wrong, Oak is obviously still very knowledgeable, and he does provide good insight, and I do like him as a commentator. It's not like I'm pissed off when he's in the commentary team, but I do think from what he used to be to now has been such a big shift. Then are there any other commentators I don't really like? Nah, to be honest, it's like Joe Rogan's been pissing me. Oh, fucking Dominic Cruz, dude. How could I forget about Dominic Cruz? He is the most annoying, and there's so many oaks that agree on this. He's such a fucking doer, bro. He just talks a whole bunch of rubbish, and he also says the wrong things all the time. I'm sure all you oaks have seen all the clips online where he says something and then the fighter does the opposite or whatever. Like, he's so stupid for a fighter. Well, for someone who was a fighter, he seems to know nothing about fighting when he's commentating. So he is also just rubbish. I do not like when the Dominator is part of the commentary team. I will not lie, he does piss me off. Then obviously the better ones again, Dean Thomas, like hearing that, like Megan Levy. I do like Laura Sanko, to be fair. I think the more she's been like commentating on the fight cards, I've been enjoying what she has to say more. She's pretty knowledgeable on the sport, which is quite lekker. Um, and here's the thing I'll close up with. I'm so oblique that Mike Goldberg is no longer with the UFC, or at least that I didn't get to see, like I didn't get to watch, because I didn't really watch as much UFC I didn't really watch UFC when he was a commentator. He stopped being a commentator in 2016, and I only got into UFC after that. So I never actually got to watch it with him as the commentator. But if you don't know him, he's an iconic voice when fights start, where he's like, "Here we go," and then also when there's a finish, he'll be like, "It is all over." So he's quite a lekker oak. And when you watch like OG fights, you hear his voice, it sounds so iconic, and it's like builds such a cool atmosphere. So I really wish I could have been around to hear him a little bit more live. But yeah. But I guess that wraps it up, folks. I don't really have anything more to say. I just thought I'd chat a bit of rubbish for fun. I would say like a dream combo for me in the commentary booth. It's tough when it comes to fight nights. Bisping, Felder, Brendan Fitzgerald. Those three are sick, as because you have Brendan Fitzgerald does the like play-by-play or whatever, and then you have Bisping and Felder as your like color commentators. And then for main big pay-per-views, I think John Anik, DC. It is just iconic to have Joe, but I would prefer to have like Felder, maybe even Bisping on those. No, not Bisping, but maybe Felder or even. I don't know. It is super iconic to have Felder, Cormier, Rogan, and Anik. But yeah, I don't know. I think I love the fight nights when it's Bisping, Felder, and Brendan Fitzgerald or Sanko or whatever. Those are sick ones. But yeah, Oaks, as always, I hope you enjoyed this random little video. If you did, let me know, and I'll keep making more of them because I enjoy doing them for fun. But yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll check you in the next one.